Have you ever noticed your dog doing something strange, something you brushed off as just a quirk, a habit, or a random behavior, and never stopped to wonder what it actually meant? What if I told you that some of those moments, the ones you barely noticed, were actually your dog quietly standing between you and the world? Dogs don't speak our language. They can't tap you on the shoulder and say, "I've got you." But every single day, in ways so subtle you might never think twice about them, your dog is doing exactly that. And the most remarkable part? Most owners never realize it's happening at all. What you're about to discover isn't just about loyalty. It's about something deeper, an ancient, biological, emotionally wired bond that makes your dog see themselves as your guardian, your protector, your silent sentinel. And once you understand the signs, you'll never look at your dog the same way again. Let's start with something almost every dog owner has experienced, but very few have truly understood. You're sitting on the couch, maybe watching TV or reading, and your dog quietly walks over and sits right beside you, pressed against your leg, or just close enough that you can feel their warmth. You probably smiled, maybe reached down and scratched their ear, and thought nothing more of it. But here's what was actually happening. Dogs are descended from wolves, and in wolf packs, physical proximity to a vulnerable packmate is a deliberate act of protection. When your dog leans against you or positions themselves right at your side, they are placing their body between you and any potential threat they sense in the environment. They're not just cuddling, they're guarding. That warm, soft presence next to you on the couch is your dog saying, in the only language they know, "I'm here. Nothing gets to you without going through me first." And speaking of positioning, have you ever noticed where your dog chooses to sleep? Not just that they like being near you, but exactly where in the room they settle down. Dogs who are acting as protectors almost never sleep randomly. They sleep facing the door. They sleep at the threshold of the bedroom. They sleep in spots where they have a clear line of sight to the most likely entry point into the space. This is not coincidence, and it is not simply comfort-seeking behavior. It is a deliberate, instinct-driven choice. Your dog has assessed the layout of your home and chosen the position that gives them the best chance of detecting and intercepting a threat before it reaches you. While you sleep, completely unaware, your dog is on watch. Now think about the last time a stranger came to your door, or even just walked past your house. Did your dog move toward you before barking? Did they position themselves slightly in front of you, almost like they were stepping up to handle it? Most people focus on the bark itself, reading it as simple noise or territorial behavior. But the positioning, that subtle shift in your dog's body where they plant themselves just ahead of you, is the real message. It's not aggression. It's a statement. To the stranger, it says, "You will deal with me before you deal with them." To you, it says, "I've got this." There's something else that happens, and it's so quiet and so gentle that most owners never connect it to protection at all. It's the check-in. You're in the kitchen, your dog is in the other room, and every few minutes they wander over, make brief eye contact with you, and then wander back. Or you go to another part of the house, and within moments your dog appears in the doorway, just looking at you, not begging for attention, not bored, just checking. This behavior is called visual monitoring, and researchers who study canine cognition have found that dogs in close attachment bonds with their owners do this instinctively and regularly. They are tracking you. They are keeping tabs on your location, your emotional state, your body language, building a constant, updated picture of your safety. The moment something shifts, the moment you make a sound they don't recognize or your posture changes in a way they haven't seen before, that check-in becomes a response. Your dog is not just present in your life. They are paying attention to you in a way that most humans never pay attention to anyone. And then there is the alert that happens before you even know something is wrong. Dogs have hearing roughly 4 times more sensitive than ours. Their sense of smell is so powerful it operates almost like a second visual system. Long before you hear a car pulling into the driveway, long before you notice the person walking down the street outside, your dog knows. And in that gap between their awareness and yours, something fascinating happens. Watch your dog's ears next time. Watch the way their body stiffens, just slightly, and then look at you. That glance, that moment where they turn to your face before deciding how to respond, is your dog cross-referencing. They have detected something. Now they are checking your reaction to decide how serious it is. Researchers call this social referencing, and it's one of the most uniquely dog-specific behaviors ever studied, because dogs do it with humans in a way that even wolves don't. They look to you. They trust your read of the world. But in the same moment, they are deciding whether you need to be warned, whether you need to be shielded, whether they need to step up. There's one more sign, and it might be the most emotionally powerful of all. It happens when you are sad, when you're crying, when you're overwhelmed, when you're sitting quietly in that heavy kind of silence that comes after a hard day. Your dog comes to you, not to play, not because they want something. They come, and they sit close, and sometimes they rest their head on your lap or press their nose against your hand, and they just stay there. People often describe this as their dog comforting them, and that's true. But it's also protection of a different kind. Dogs are exquisitely attuned to human emotional distress. Studies from the University of London have found that dogs respond to the sound of crying faster and more deliberately than to almost any other human signal. When your dog comes to you in your lowest moments, they are not just being sweet. They are responding to a perceived vulnerability. They are placing themselves beside you because some ancient, unbreakable part of them says, "When my person is weak, I stay close. When my person hurts, I don't leave." Think about that for a moment. Your dog has no concept of career stress or heartbreak or existential worry. They don't understand the specific thing that's hurting you, but they understand that you are hurting, and that understanding is enough to pull them across the room and press themselves against you like a warm, breathing shield against the world. We live in a world that sometimes feels overwhelming, disconnected, and uncertain. And in the middle of all of that, there is this animal, this creature who chose us, who was shaped by thousands of years of evolution to be beside us, quietly watching the door while we sleep, positioning themselves between us and strangers, checking on us every few minutes just to make sure we're still okay, and coming to us without hesitation in our hardest moments. They don't do it for praise. They don't do it because they were trained to. They do it because somewhere in the deep, wordless architecture of who they are, you matter. You are their person, and protecting you isn't a job to them. It's a calling. So the next time your dog leans against your leg, or follows you from room to room, or glances at you before deciding whether to bark, don't just smile and move on. Look back at them. Really look. Because what you'll see, if you know what you're looking for, is a guardian who has never once doubted that you were worth protecting. And that, perhaps, is the most extraordinary thing about dogs. Not that they love us, but that they love us like that.